In today's video, I want to talk about where you should put your focus if you plan on being and remaining a full-time real estate investor. And when I say full-time, I'm talking about waking up every day and spending most, if not all, your time on real estate investing. Now, before I do, I want to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube page. If you have already, thank you so much. We appreciate your subscription. Be sure to click the notification bell so that as we drop these videos, you will be the first to get the value from what we share. So with that being said, let's get into where should you focus your attention in terms of your acquisition strategy. Like, what is your real estate acquisition strategy going to be? Because there are so many things you can do in real estate investing. And if you're not clear on where you should be focusing your attention on primarily, even if it's not the only thing you're focusing on, it should be the primary thing that you're focusing on, you're going to be all over the place. I'm telling you, I've seen it more times than I should have seen it, not with myself, but with other people who are just unwilling to get clear on where should my focus be. So I wanted to simplify how your focus should be compartmentalized. So to simplify it, I wanted to compartmentalize it to today money, tomorrow money, today and tomorrow money. So what I mean by that is when you're getting into full-time real estate investing, you got to be clear on, okay, should I focus my attention on making today money? Is that important for me? Should I focus on tomorrow money? Is that important to me? Or maybe today and tomorrow money? And depending on where your focus is, it's going to have a lot to do with your acquisition strategy. I can give myself as an example. When I became a full-time real estate investor, I had a few things that were advantages. Number one, I already had an operating business that was making money. So that means I had a staff, I had payroll, I had expenses. So even though it was an advantage as far as acquiring real estate, because all I had to do is just add that to my activities every day, it was a challenge because in order for me to become a full-time real estate investor, I got to be very clear on what I needed to focus on. And my main primary focus had to be today money. Why? Because if I'm taking all my time off of my main business that's making the money to pay my staff, to pay my expenses, then I got to replace it with money. And that means I couldn't focus on tomorrow money. So my acquisition strategy had to reflect that. So when you're focusing on today money, you're going to either be focusing on wholesaling, fix and flipping, or maybe being a private money lender. This is going to be more of a transactional lending or short-term lending, maybe 30 days or 60 days, but it can't be long. It may just be a fix and flip private money lending that you're doing, or it could just be the transaction, helping people get to the closing table. But when you need today money, okay, when you know you got to pay bills, then you're not going to be focusing on some of these other acquisition strategies. You're going to probably have to wholesale to make that quick today money. If you do have a little money saved up and you know you can afford to buy the property, fix it up, and then resell it because you have maybe a 90 or 120 a day window, then fixing and flipping can work. Or if you don't have the money, you have private money lenders that you could bring in on your fix and flips. But if you need to make today money as a full-time real estate investor, most likely you're going to be doing wholesaling, fix and flipping, and you might be doing some private money lending. And that's only if you have enough money to be able to pay the bills and then drop that money into certain transactions that you know you could get every 10 to 15 days a return. Now, when you're focusing on tomorrow money, you're going to be focusing on the buy and hold, okay? Everybody wants to buy and hold because everybody wants to build their portfolio. But I'm telling you, I know this from experience. Before I became a full-time investor, the end buyer, my wife and I had already spent years as a two-person real estate team. She was the agent, I was the handyman. That turned into us consulting real estate investors. So we help real estate investors fix and flip their properties, buy them, sell them, rent them out. We had a property management company for a season. So we know the ins and outs of the fix and flip, the buy and holds, and even some of the wholesaling. And I'm telling you right now, when you're buying and holding properties unless you're buying them dirt cheap and you're able to spend little money to get into them and you're able to rent them out for a whole lot and have a big spread. Unless you're doing that, you're not making a whole lot of money on a buy and hold. As a matter of fact, if I had to average out what an investor makes today when they buy, fix, and hold or rent a property, it may be an average of $300 a month of cash flow. Cash flow after the debt service, after taxes. And a lot of times that $300 doesn't include reserves for capital expenditures. It doesn't include property management fees. I know some people who, for example, they buy and fix up and rent out a property, right? Okay, and they rent it for $2,200. Their PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, is $1,700. And they think in their mind they're cash flowing $500. No, you're not. You hadn't taken out for property management, even if you're managing it. You haven't taken out for reserves when something happens, because all you need is one HVAC unit to go out. Your whole year of cash flow is gone. So this is not the best strategy in most cases, because if you need today money, you definitely don't want to buy and hold. And another tomorrow money could be private money lending long term. That means you're lending money on deals and you might have a year before you get your money back, even though you might be getting monthly payments. But that could be a good way to make some today money or some tomorrow money. And then you have the today and tomorrow strategy. That typically falls under the lease option, because instead of you just buying and holding in terms of a traditional rental, where you're only getting a deposit that's equivalent to the monthly payment, you can actually do a lease option. And I know a lot of people who are so sophisticated at lease options that they don't really have a whole lot of money in the deal. For example, if I buy a home and let's say my down payment for the home to get into it is 30 grand, but if I can create some type of lease option on the back end and get a $30,000 deposit, well, I'm zero into the deal and I'm getting probably a higher monthly payment because it's not a traditional rental. It's actually a lease option, and this person or this tenant buyer is leasing it with an option to buy. So that could be today money. It could be drips and cash flow every month, and then when they exercise their option, I get a big lump sum of tomorrow money. And it could be a wrap. This is more sophisticated, but it's just a strategy that can be used. So my whole point in sharing this video is that if you want to be, or if you are a full-time real estate investor, you got to get focused. It doesn't mean you can't do all of these, but what it means is I have to have a primary acquisition strategy to know where is my today money coming from. And then if I have enough money today that I don't have to be so worried about today, then I can look into tomorrow and some of the today and tomorrow strategies. If you need any information relating to any of these acquisition strategies, we have courses, we have coaching, we have mentorship, we have a community of people who can help you along the way. Don't forget to leave a comment. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We have some links to free resources in the description, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.